A lot was made during the spring of you trying linebacker. Now that the season's underway, you've talked to the coaches. How much are you expecting to be used at linebacker or at defensive end?
I guess a lot. I'm there right now. I'm learning all the linebacker. I'll probably be more focused there in the spring. In the fall camp, since that's probably where I need the most work. So I'd imagine that I'd spend the most time at linebacker right now.
If you get to work on both the left and the right side, which becomes the bigger adjustment? Standing up out of your three-point stance as a defensive end, or changing your point of view at the quarterback if you bounce from one side of the field to the other as a linebacker?
I guess standing up is kind of different than coming out of a stance when you're pass rushing, because it kind of throws your angles off. So I'd probably say that's more challenging than just switching sides. Switching sides isn't that bad because, in my time here I've done both sides, so the sides isn't the big issue.
So even though you've played primarily left defensive end last year,
yeah,
it doesn't matter to you whether you're right or left.
I played both, yeah, so just the stance is different.
And again, you never, even in high school, you've never played linebacker before, right?
No, I did in high school, actually. That's all I played. I played when I was, a little bit smaller before I hit a growth spurt. I played inside linebacker mostly, like in high school, and then my senior year we moved to the same defense that we run now, and I played the outside spot.
So does it feel natural going back to it, or
does.
You've been an end so long that you've sort of forgotten it?
No, it comes back. The drops and the pass rushing. It comes back. So it's been a while since I've done it, but I don't think it's going to be that hard of a transition.
You arrived here as a walk-on. Last year you start 12 games. You're second on the team in sacks. Are you ever surprised by how much progress you've made or how far you've come since you've gotten to SMU? Have you exceeded your expectations for yourself?
No, I've always had high goals. I try and set goals every year, and they've kind of been building. And last year I had high hopes, as a starter, and seeing the kind of production that guys like Marcus and Taylor had put through in their time. I wanted to be, we don't want any drop off, and I expected myself to kind of put those numbers up.
Obviously, you guys are just getting started with preseason camp, but from what you know of the personnel coming back and what the coaches have in mind, what's the biggest difference going to be between this year's defense and the version you rolled out last year?
I guess experience. We started a lot of new guys last year that hadn't started ever before, and those guys all have a year under their belt, and even guys that didn't start, they got a lot of backups or are playing a lot of reps now. So I think if anything, we're just more experienced. The
experience obviously was a big deal last year, right? Because you and Zach and Darian took over as starters.
Right.
When you step back and look at last year, look at the film from last year, how do you think you guys did? How would you evaluate the performance of the line in your first year as the main guys?
I thought we did pretty well. There's a lot. Of course, we only did as well as 5 and 7, obviously. So there's a lot of things that we can work on. But I thought, on the whole, we did pretty well for being new guys out there predominantly. And but of course, there's always stuff you can work on.
Every year, teams graduate players. You lost some pretty good players: Kenneth Acker, Randall Joyner, Chris Parks, Jay Scott, Kevin Pope moves over to offense. How good can this defense be this year?
We're expected, to be better than we were last year, maybe even the best since, Coach Mason and his staff has been here. I think we got a lot of really good athletes on that side of the ball, and I have high expectations for us.
What's it like opening up against a team that scored 52 points a game last year?
We remember that. We're definitely not taking them lightly. Just a lot of hard work we can prepare for them.
Do you expect to be spending time looking at what UCF did to keep them in check in the bowl game, or are they so different that you don't really study what they ran?
Of course, it's worth looking at, especially for personnel. Guys that are going to be playing this year that played last year. You'll look at that. But they did a great job. I watched the game, live, and I thought they did a great job of containing those guys. So we'll definitely look at it.
Moving from defensive end to linebacker. Now you have a new position coach. What's Eric Daniels like as a teacher?
I love Coach Daniels. He's the man. Coach Daniels' first year at SMU was my first year, so I feel like we were in the same class together almost. And so I'm just really happy for him. He's worked really hard, and he deserves to be the coach. I think he's got a lot of information that he can share with us, and I enjoy being coached by Coach Daniels.
Do you go to the other
Yeah.
experienced guys, the Jonathan Yengas, Stephon Sanders, people like that?
I mean, I asked
Get
them
tips
lots
from
of
them?
questions. Yeah. I mean, just tips on how to play. Little tricks for what coverages we're in, or what kind of blitzes, and those guys. I mean, they've been doing it for longer than I have, so I'm almost feeling like I need to ask the veteran guys that are younger than me.
You're a senior, but you're asking the veterans for help.